Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to start by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make your calling and election sure. Shalom. This is your brother Hashaf from the Great Millstone Savannah Camp, coming back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, I pray and hope that it is edifying and exhorting. All right. And I wanted to I seen this earlier. I was, just decided to do a lesson on it. All right, rolling in the spirit. I don't have really too many precepts or too much to say. Um, I'm gonna read this one precept. This is First Timothy chapter 2 and um verse 9. It says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair and gold and pearls and costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Okay. And this pastor, Jamal Bryant of the New Birth, I believe it's a Baptist church. I don't know if they're still Baptist, but I grew up going to a church that is probably 3 miles or 4 miles away from this church. We had a lot of fellowship with this church when I was growing up, and their original pastor, he actually, um, got accused of molesting children, molesting boys, and caught a disease and died. Okay, so the which and they're still members. There's this it's like a mega. It used to be a mega church. It's still a pretty big church. So basically this controversial pictures of his wife are going around the internet. All right, what she is wearing, what seems to be a see-through dress. Now, I'm gonna play the video. Not really interested in it, but I'm gonna play the video just for context sake and get some more precepts.
I needed to get this straight. I needed to deal with it head on because the other day the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about this was the largest fundraiser for for HBCUs in the country. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. Now you got to help some people because some people have embraced the full knowledge of ignorance without any assistance for understanding. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't never been exposed to nothing, I needed to set the record straight. Y'all don't like this. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. I needed to get this straight.
So, you see, the video or whatever. But apparently the dress is skin color, okay? But my thing is, and which made it worse is with what he said at the end was he bought the dress, right, for his wife to wear, okay? And this is why you know that the Christian churches is not in the spirit of the Lord, man, okay? They're doing this folly. So it says, and this is one we always bring out. Um, appearance. All right. It says, First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 22. It says, abstain from all appearance of evil. All right. So even if you feel like this dress is just a skin color dress, she's justified, it wasn't really see through, it just looked see through. Okay, cool. All right. But the scripture says, abstain from all appearances of evil. You are supposed to be, professing to be this man of God. All right. Why would you let your wife come outside with something that looks to be see through? It looks to be evil, right? It looks to have the appearance of something evil. All right. So why would you do that? Okay. And this is, one of the reasons why, we don't even hear a great millstone, man. We don't even see each other's women. Okay. Uh which when you go into what we read earlier about the modesty, it goes into keeping the woman at home, keeping her uh let her learn at home. Women are supposed to be out in the limelight, in the spotlight. Uh, it creates uh uh opportunities for evil to creep in, man. Okay. Which we learn from experience, we learn from our elders and apostles, right? Because they used to have women, all throughout the camps, and it complicated things, and you go into Paul's writings, Paul was seeing it. He was seeing churches where, there were women set up in places of power, right? There were, because this is the Roman Empire we're talking about, okay? There were women pastors the same way it is today, okay? Um, and these people were calling themselves, followers of Yahweh, and they were professing themselves to be holy people or set apart people. All right. Well, this right here is worldly. Okay, this is a very worldly dress, and she could have, if, as just as easily as she put on this dress, which looks to be see through. It looks to be opaque. Um, she could have easily just put on, something modest. You're a pastor. I know y'all seen the outfit. They got money. She could have easily gotten, why that dress specifically? Because you wanted controversy. Okay. And, ultimately this is the wrong type of attention, okay, to be having in these latter days. And this the same guy who he sat down with Cam Newton and complimented Cam Newton's legs, right? And I just seen a video of our apostle, our elder apostle Tahar saying that, men shouldn't be wearing shorts, right? Seeing how, that's basically showing off your nakedness, man. Okay. And it shows the contrast, all right, between um, those that are truly seeking the Lord and those that, just seeking the Lord for show, for money, all right, the seeking the Lord for tradition or um in the spirit of something that is not of the Lord, man. Okay. So I just want, I didn't have much much to say, just a short lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying and exhorting. I want to end off by giving all the glory, infinite praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing this truth in all sincerity. Shalom.